My name's Stephanie. I'm a compulsive eater, and I weigh and measure 3 meals a day from the gray sheet. I write those meals down. I commit them to my sponsor before I eat them. I don't eat in between, no matter what. Abstinence is the most important thing I do every day, or else I wouldn't have a life. And my abstinence date is April 12th, 2001. And for that, I am truly grateful. And I'll probably get choked up. There are three people on this meeting that were there when I tried to get abstinent for 12 years. So I'm here for the chronic relapser to tell them that this thing works. And I vilified those gray sheeters. I thought they were control freaks. I had a problem with authority and was really rebellious. I was 19 when I went to my first gray sheet meeting, and I thought these people are crazy. But I see on there that what they eat is healthy and it's not the stuff that causes me to want to eat more. And I really truly understood that it was the phenomenon of craving, eating carbs and sugars. I could totally see that happening. Anytime that I tried to eat healthy, pseudo healthy carbs, from those hippie food stores, I just would end up in the triple X stuff. So even when I tried to eat healthy, it finally dawned on me that these carbohydrates were creating a craving for more. And I understood from being clean for years that I really needed to practice total abstinence to kill that craving, like an antibiotic. I need to keep taking it. And but I think I was too young and I had not exhausted all reservations. I was very codependent. And so anytime I started dating or had a friend, wanted to go, I had, food buddies. I would let them talk me into eating. I had a nutritionist that, taught me out of that I quit doing the gray sheet from, therapists. I had been in a mental hospital in high school for bulimia. And I think the big lie was that for treating anorexics and bulimics, they would really tell you to try to practice unrestrained eating or intuitive eating. And that never worked for me. I went to college and graduated with high honors and had this dissertation thing at the end where I was conducting experiments with people on unrestrained eating, trying to prove that it worked. That if you ate enough, you'd figure out, your apostat. And I know from a member that's on this thing today that my apostat is broken. And I have a bias about what I put in my body. I cannot define my own abstinence or come up with a plan to that would work, and I can't sponsor myself. Sometimes I went to the meetings just to grab a gray sheet and run. I'd lie about having a sponsor. I'd, sneak in the cabinet, try to get one, whatever it took. And those people loved me until I could love myself. They welcomed me. And from 89 to 2001, I'd go back every once in a while. And even my husband, I would go back a few times before we got abstinent. And really, I needed to exhaust all reservations that nobody's putting the food in my mouth. So I need to learn how to set boundaries. I need to learn how to say no. As far as, and the most I could get for those 12 years was 62 days. So I thought that was a magic number, like there was some hex, like how am I going to get past 62 days? And it was just this horrible fear. But really, it was just surrendering completely, admitting utter and complete defeat, like the big book talks about. So I had to stop too when I had to decide that no matter what other people were eating, I needed to do this to save myself. I was physically and mentally just bereft, spiritually bankrupt. I was in a 12-step program, but I wasn't experiencing what it describes in our literature about being rocketed into the fourth dimension. I was very mad and belligerent and difficult to be around and very selfish and self-centered. And I felt entitled. I thought, oh, I'm so good in these other areas. Why can't I eat what I want? And really just needed to be humbled about my body was falling apart. I was getting the wreckage of bulimia and yo-yo dieting. And I needed to lose 75 pounds. I've maintained a 75-pound weight loss. And so I needed to get rid of those reservations about restrictive eating, because this program puts boundaries around where I have abundance and shame-free eating. It's not restrictive. It's learning how to it's not moderate, but it's just a structured way of eating where in between I can live life in between. There's a set starting into a meal. I'm not living in a fantasy, being a zombie anesthetized all day long, grazing or hiding and lying about what I'm eating. And just just I believe all I need to do is try it for one meal. I believe the hype about, oh, you're hypoglycemic, you need to eat 6 meals. I tried that for a while because I was hypoglycemic. It's like and then I needed to be on insulin. And that's when it finally dawned on me I needed to be on insulin. I thought, this is crazy. My pride really got me when my stepmom had a gastric bypass, and she said, if you just gain like 20 more pounds, you can go to I'll refer you to my doctor. You'll qualify then. And she ended up dying of necrotic intestines. She died of sepsis from that. After she had that surgery, she couldn't stop eating too. She would, she wasn't following the rules or whatever, and she died of sepsis. So by then I'm grateful I was abstinent and just trying to set a quiet example. That's what some of y'all did too. You set a quiet example. You weren't preaching to me or cajoling or uh, you know pressuring me into do this. It's this disease is so cunning and baffling, and it I get angry at the disease, but I want to make sure I don't get angry at the sufferers, because that could be me in a heartbeat. I'm one bad decision from a bite and falling into the abyss. And so I want to stay grateful, and I don't want to take this for granted, because it's so much easier for me to stay abstinent than to get abstinent. And so, someone said, if I let the gorilla out of the cage, the gorilla decides when the dance is over. And that's true. I can't control this. I can't manipulate. Even if, I know so many of us are high functioning, efficient people with, success in other areas, and yet I can't manage my food. And it was humiliating. But to come here and learn from that y'all have the same problem, taught me that I can't think my way out of this solution. And so I totally surrender to the gray sheet as it is written, and I don't make any modifications to it or try to customize it to my benefit. And I can't make any independent food decisions. So I'm just really grateful, and I just want to give hope to people that are struggling, or, just try to provide comfort to anyone that's in fear. I was terrified when I got abstinent again, because I thought, how can I do this? I started becoming, kind of uh, getting it, losing my temper. We lived in these apartments where there was a restaurant nearby that I had to drive next to enter the complex. And they had a guy out in a furry suit with a sign, come eat here. And I just wanted to run that guy over. I was like, to hell with these people. I was mad. And, because for a while it was like I thought people were getting away with something. I was mad that I had this disease, and I need to avoid self-pity. And so it's real important too that when I got abstinent, because I did this for a long time and it was detrimental, I would, people would say, oh, I've baked this, why don't you try it? And I'd go, oh, woe is me, I can't, I'm not allowed to eat that. Or and I would let them talk me into eating it. Like they would, feel sorry for me, and I would, let them do that. And it's like, I need to set a boundary and say, no, thank you. And even if I had to lie, give an excuse, I'm allergic, whatever it takes, now boundaries are a little more graceful, and I'm able to say, no, thank you. I've already eaten, or whatever. And, but whatever it takes for me to, I remember I liked how they explained it. Someone wanted to eat their abstinent meal, and they said, I'm sorry, I have a spiritual practice where I have to eat all of my food, and that's all I eat is this, and it's weighed and measured. And, whatever it takes for me to protect my abstinence, because no one would say, put that medicine down, don't take your prescription anymore. And that's what this is. This gives me a life beyond my wildest dreams. And I learned from going to roundups and retreats that I can travel abstinently. I can enjoy spontaneity in between meals. We've been overseas like 5 or 6 times to music festivals.
Excuse me,
And
Steph, 5 more minutes.
thank you, Susan. People are out there camping and going on these crazy trips, boat rides with album release parties or whatever in Norway and the fjords. I mean, it was just wonderful. But I've got my Ziploc baggie with my travel food in there, and everyone else is eating crazy food, and it's okay because I'm the only one. When I go home and go to sleep at night, I'm the there's a time when in the dark night of the soul, I'm by myself and I want to have integrity and not be ashamed of my behavior. So even if it looks like an embarrassment at first for me to ask for more salad at a restaurant, that's what I need to do in order to protect my abstinence. This is a gift and I don't want to take that for granted. And I would not be here without y'all, especially the people that were there. They loved me until I could love myself, and they saved my life. And now I have a life worth living. Before I wanted to kill myself, and I didn't know how I could lose the desire to eat is just the most beautiful thing, to not think about certain foods for months or years at a time. And it's important for me to just enjoy that and to be with y'all. And I need to stay in the middle of the herd so I don't get picked off. So I think it's important for me to attend meetings regularly and make outreach calls and stay plugged in with y'all. And I'm just grateful and I look forward to hearing y'all share. Thank you.